Tim Houlihan. I work in a global team at Telefónica. The three pillars that we normally concentrate mostly on at the moment is secure, monetize and enrich. So when it comes to security, we're helping the local Telefónica MNOs to put in firewalls across the group in their networks. When it comes to monetization, we're obviously helping with best practice from the more mature markets in Europe, the local markets specifically in South America, around how to monetize their products better. And the enrichment part is probably the most interesting at the moment, is looking at what comes next. How do we take the existing A2P SMS channel and layer in other interesting things like IP, RCS is a big buzzword at the moment as well. So messaging as a platform in all those directions is basically what we are looking at the moment at Telefónica. Interesting, we had obviously people from the carrier there. We had some from GSMA and also from the aggregator community. And I think really you had all kinds of walks of life that are within the ecosystem represented, which made for a good discussion. Obviously, I think the big question mark that's still out there is around the commercials, because basically it hasn't yet still been decided. It's quite fragmented, and it can be also considered to be something that's going to take a long time to solve. I myself, for my part, feel it's important that, especially as I think it's going to be a brand-driven success story, RCS, that needs to be very simplistic for the brands and for those people that wish to leverage this channel outside of the ecosystem of messaging. So I think a monthly active usage model is probably, for those type of clients, the best thing that we can put together. It means change for the market, but you know what? We have to basically do that. Sometimes you just have to cross those bridges and go with the flow. I think security is still a very, very strong use case for A2P messaging. And SMS is still this absolute ubiquitous channel that has a high level of trust, and people basically know how to use it. It's on every phone, so it's basically something that's not going away very quickly. I think, just to kind of round the point, RCS will bring a lot of new services, in my opinion, but existing A2P messaging, I think a lot of those use cases will still stay and will grow. We see at Telefónica across the group actually still see growth year on year on A2P messaging. And security, two-factor, those type of things, I think still have a couple of years in them at least in the industry to actually keep bringing revenue to the operators. There's probably quite a few different points that you could talk about. SIM farms still obviously is something that is difficult to control, obviously, because the sheer volume of them. That's probably one of the ones, especially in LATAM, that people have a problem with. Smishing is something specifically as well in the UK markets at the moment that's still a very ongoing current topic. So with alphanumeric sender IDs, there's very little control around that actual feature. So it's quite easy for somebody to actually pretend to be someone they're not, especially on SS7. So this is also a big problem, especially as in the UK at the moment. And there's been a few cases, unfortunately, where really hardcore social engineering as a first step has then led to the SMS from someone being stolen. A one-time password, it happened in Germany. It was seriously large amount of criminal work went into doing it, so this is not something that's commonplace or easy to do. But it has meant basically that one or two times bank accounts have been emptied. So yeah, we still have a lot to do. I mean, that's the interesting thing about fraud. Those people that do that, they don't stop. They keep evolving and developing, and we have to go with that. So it's a cat and mouse game, like any area with fraud prevention is. I think first and foremost, the operators do have to do a lot in-house with coming up with solutions, technical solutions, because the regulatory thing, while it's more powerful perhaps and has a wider reach, it takes even longer. I mean, telcos don't move as fast as we say the aggregators in the market, but at least as masters of our own destiny or controlling our own networks, we should be in a position to at least look at solutions, and there are quite a few interesting ones coming out now from various vendors to help us counteract these problems. But definitely working together with the government bodies and the regulators is also key to ensuring that we ensure that the ecosystem and those channels are kept clean and no fraudulent activities or as little as possible for the end users.